not earth-shattering. You've heard it before. Get pre-approved instead of pre-qualified. There's a difference. One is if you're going online and you're on Lending Tree or any real estate or mortgage website, and you put in your information, your social, how much money you make, all that good stuff, and they say, "Oh, you're approved for this." That's called a pre-qualification. That's not a pre-approval. When you're pre-approved, that means that you've sent the lender in your information, your not just your email, name, social security, and just the questions they ask you. You're going to fill out what's called a 1003 application, and they're going to ask you to upload check stubs. They're going to ask you to upload bank statements, tax returns, things like that. They'll analyze that usually within 48 hours. They will let you know what that particular lender will qualify you for. So you want to get pre-approved, not just pre-qualified. You want to stock the neighborhoods that you want to live in or the sides of town that you want to live in. If you've got a subdivision picked out, I want you to do your homework and drive around the closest. If it's in an urban area, very densely populated area, drive around the closest 25 streets from where that neighborhood that you're looking to live in. So if there's one neighborhood, you drive the whole entire neighborhood. You drive the adjacent neighborhoods so you know what's in the immediate area. You know what you're buying into. The barking dog that you hear next to the property that you're interested in, you buy that dog. You buy the children who are riding their bikes and leaving their bikes in the street. You buy the garbage cans, if you happen to go out on the day of trash day, you're buying how that looks, how people stack their trash. You're buying the cars that are parked on the street. You're buying all of that. So not just the sticks and the bricks and the dirt that the house sits on, but you're buying the neighborhood. So stock the neighborhoods. You want to buy with the end in mind. So what I mean by that is this is going to eventually be a rental property. Is this just a stepping stone for you right now to lay your head and not pay rent, right? Just pay yourself versus paying somebody else's mortgage. Are you eventually going to move family in? If that's the case, do you need something with stairs, no stairs, finished basement, unfinished basement? How long are you planning to live there? What does your life look like? What type of business are you in? Do you have a home-based business? Is this house going to fit all your needs? You want to look at all of that. What's your lifestyle going to be like? And then start with the end in mind, what this house is going to feel like, look like in about 10 years. The average stay of a person right now is about 7 to 10, but start envisioning your future self and if this house is still going to meet your needs. If not, then you might need to look at something bigger or look at something smaller. The next thing you want to do is really decide why you're buying. Are you buying because of legacy? Are you buying, like I mentioned, to build something, make it a rental property? Are you buying it to leave to your kids? Are you buying it because you're missing out on owning a home, right? And you feel like that's something you should do? Are you buying it for financial reasons, that you make a lot of money, you need write-offs? Why are you buying? So decide that for yourself as well. And don't co-sign. Here's another tip. Don't co-sign anything, a car, anything with anybody else if you're planning on buying a house. Because if they miss a payment and then you don't make up that payment, that's going to put a ding on your credit. So no co-signing for other people. And don't put anyone on the deed of your house unless they're also on the mortgage, or if it's like a parent or aunt or somebody that is giving you money as a gift to put down on the house. You really don't want to put anybody else's name on your property, because in Georgia, at least, it is hard as hell to get somebody off a deed when you no longer want them involved in your life or attached to your property. Property rights in Georgia run very, very deep. So don't put anybody on your deed. Don't feel pressured if you're dating somebody and they're going to give you like $2,000 or $20,000 or whatever it is to buy the house. That's fine. That is a gift. Do not add them onto your deed. It is going to be very, very difficult to get them off if you need to. Have more than one home inspection. A lot of realtors say have the home inspection, and the home inspection findings will then tell you if you need to get any other inspections, like a mold inspection, plumbing inspection, electrical. I am of the belief if you're buying let's give you a number, $500,000 house, I would probably have a regular home inspection. I would have the termite inspection. I would have the plumbing scope, especially if there's trees around the house that are in pretty close contact with the trees, and make sure there's no tree roots growing into the plumbing. I would have an air test, mold test, a radon test. When we bought our last property, we did about $1,600 worth of inspections on the property. And some people will say that's a lot. Some people will say, hey, it's nothing, because it depends on the price point, right? But most home inspections are around, for like a condo or something, about $300 to $400 for a regular house. It depends on the square footage, but those usually hover around $600, $700. So you want to go a little bit beyond. And the reason why, as a realtor, I would give you that advice is that you want to have all your information at once. So if you have a home inspection, and they say, hey, you need to get the HVAC fixed, right? But then you and your realtor negotiated that you only had 3 days to get all of your inspections done. Well, that's not enough time generally, so it's better just to kind of get all those things stacked up in 1 day or 2 days so you have all your information. You can make all of your do all your negotiation, ask for inspection credits, or ask for the sellers to make those repairs, or buy it as is and take something off the price, or have the seller set up an escrow for those repairs, which those are all different topics for different videos. But there's different things you can do to negotiate once you have all the information about the condition. And although in Georgia, the seller has a duty to disclose to you the condition of the property, they don't necessarily have to have it in writing. They can just tell you what the conditions are. And a lot of sellers will not want to disclose what's going on unless you directly ask them, because they feel that you're going to lower the price or you're not going to offer as much, which, a lot of times people will still move forward with buying the house, but they want to know what's going on with the property. If there's anything that the seller can tell them up front, it's going to help them with their decision making and negotiation moving forward. Also, you want to make sure you want to be very cautious of houses that have roofs over 15 years, because we're running into issues right now with insurance companies not wanting to insure houses, which can be detrimental to your sales transaction. Usually around hurricane season, if there's a big hurricane that has come or a big huge storm that has come through town, some of the insurance companies will come and want an inspection report, or they'll want to come and look at the roof itself before they will issue insurance on that property. If you cannot get insurance on that property, that lender is not going to give you a loan. So be wary of houses that, when a roof start getting to that 12 or 15 year period, you want to look at doing a roof inspection. Sometimes the sellers will kind of treat the roof so they just look better. One of the things you can do while you're at a house is look at the downspouts and see if you see roof granules. They look like little small bits of like pepper or small quartz, slate type rocks like granules. You want to see if there's a bunch of them sitting at the bottom of the downspouts, and that'll tell you that that roof is getting some age on it. So you want to make that a consideration. You can ask for the seller to repair the roof. You can repair the roof after you buy it if you get the insurance in the first place. If it's like a slate roof, a clay roof, things like that, those have a longer span of time. So 15 years is really nothing on something like that. But if it's just like a regular 3-tab shingle, you want to look into that versus, say, an architectural shingle. Do a trial run on your expenses. So once you get your pre-approval and you get the cost of what the mortgage is going to be per month, you want to, say, pick a house in the neighborhood that you're looking for, look at the taxes, have your insurance agent give you like a roundabout quote of what the insurance would be, because typically they're not going to give you a full quote unless they have an address, but you can still call them and say, hey, I'm looking at buying a house with this, here's my deductible that I want to pay for that, so that you can get a mortgage payment and in your mind, or actually physically, start setting aside, like say your rent right now is $2,000 and the mortgage is going to be $2,500, and then you're going to have utilities, say, let's add another $500 a month for utilities, and another $200 for, just say, $700, right? You want to add all of that up, and then you want to start just kind of paying that. So you're going to pay your rent right now where you are, and then those extra payments, those extra carrying costs that you would have in the home, start making those payments now. Like say if you got time, say you got 6 months on your lease, start pretending that you're paying a mortgage now so that you could feel how comfortable or uncomfortable that payment would be, and then make your adjustments accordingly. And then last tips I would have is save $100 per month for repairs. Even if you don't need repairs, just set a slush fund for that each month, put it in a high yield savings account, so that say in 2 or 3 years, if you have something wrong with the HVAC or the roof or anything like that, you'll have money for the deductible or money for the repairs. So those are the tips for buyers so that you don't have any regrets after you buy. Talk to you guys later. Peace.